What up, YouTube? You got the Sarge here. Shout out to the Crap Nation crew. What up, Crap Nation people? So, yep, time to get back in the saddle. You got the Sarge here. The cold weather is over with. I can finally get back out here, start practicing, and getting fine-tuned, get my throws back down, all that stuff. But not gonna get into that right now. What I want to do is talk to you about a little thought I've been pondering. And here's what led me to this thought, which led to a theory. My niece is a violin player, okay? And my niece is a great violin player. And one day while she was sitting around waiting for her violin teacher to show up, because the violin teacher, she's so good, the violin teacher actually comes by the house to give her private lessons. I mean, because she wants to see her advance. So, hey, that's a whole nother story. And, she pulled out her violin, and I was messing with her about, play a tune for me. She's like, okay, wait, uncle, let me tune my violin before I do anything, and I'll play you something. I'm like, okay. She took out her iPhone, clicked on an app on the iPhone, and started tuning her violin using this app. And I was like, whoa, is this for real or what? And, I'm sure some of you might be familiar with these tuning apps. There's an app for everything nowadays, okay? But I was just so intrigued by it. I'm sure George from CY, who's a major musical pianist, is probably familiar with these type of apps here. So when she did that and started tuning her violin using the app, I started thinking, a couple days later it dawned on me, what if you could tune your table, okay? Your table, your throwing surface. I don't have a table, I'm saying throwing surface, to the casino's table, the same frequency, let's say. Because normally when we talk about the casino table, what's the first thing we want to know? Is it a bouncy surface? Is it semi-bouncy? Is it hard, hard, medium, bouncy? That's pretty much it. We break it down into three categories. Now it's a hard top. Now it's semi-bouncy. No, it's soft. It's really bouncy, or we'll say close cell phone bouncy, which is just off the chart bouncy. Okay? So then I start thinking, well, what if you could tune your table to the casino's table frequency, literally forget the bounce. If you get the frequency, it's probably my theory is it's probably going to give you the same bounce. Okay? So what I came away with, I started thinking, well, how would you do this? So the first thing I said, well, you know what? You need to be able to record your dice, okay? You need to be able to record your dice hitting the table, okay? And when your dice hit the table, that's going to give you the frequency, believe it or not, okay? Or to be more specific, that's going to give you the resonance frequency. When you hear that sound coming back to you, what you hear is the dice resonating because they're bouncing off the table. You're picking up that sound, okay? So if you was able to go to the casino, okay, and don't get me wrong, I know I'm way out over my skis here, and it just bear with me, go with me on this, just go with me for a minute, okay? So I know the casino's got 10, 15, 20 tables, depending where you're at. Bellagio, I don't know, 10, 15 or whatever. I'm just using my local casino, okay? When I say local, I still got to drive 3 hours up the road to Shreveport to get there. But on average, they only have like 3, maybe 4 tables open at any given moment. When I get there, normally during the day, during the week, they only have 1 table open, and I can rest my hat on it that it's going to be the crapless crap table. Now, what if I could figure out the frequency when I look at it, I say that table is semi-bouncy because I sat there for probably 2 hours one night without throwing and just watched people throw and try to figure out the bounce of the dice, so that when I got back home, you know what? I said, I'm going to take my throwing rig and set my table up like that. And I sat there and I, came away with, okay, it's not bouncy, it's not hard, it's semi-bouncy, but not so much semi-bouncy. And I kind of interpolated in between, read between the line, came up with something, and that's close to it. So I say on a scale of 1 to 1 being hard, 10 being bouncy, that is probably like about a 6 or 7. That's where we are. We just got to read between the line of that. So then I start thinking, well, what if I could record the sound of that table? Okay, not with me throwing the dice, just somebody throwing the dice. I know casino are noisy, it's hard to do, I get it, and I know there's a bunch of variables in it, the speed of the dice, the height of the dice, all that stuff, background noise. Let's say if you could ideally, you and a buddy go into the casino 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? These are for serious players that normally wants. This isn't about just going out there to throw. You're trying to throw and make a little money while you do it, okay? Okay, so your buddy stands down there with his iPhone, okay? And the casino don't like you videotaping. You're not videotaping. You got your iPhone in your pocket, unrecord. You're just recording the audio. That's it. Nobody knows that it's on. It's just there in your pocket. And as they throw the dice, that's all. At a later date, when you get home to the casino, that's going to become valuable information, okay? And we don't need to record a whole session. I'm going to say about, let's say 5, maybe 6 throws on average, okay? And once we get these throws and we get back home, we're going to play them back, okay? But we're not just going to play them back. We're going to run them through our app. And the app we're going to use to determine the frequency is called the Spectrum Analyzer app. What this is going to do is give you the bell curve of when the dice hit the table, and you're going to be able to see the highest frequency, which is going to be the loudest decibel, of course. It's going to show up at maybe about 50 decibels or so. It's going to show up, and that frequency is where you want to key in and tune your table. I mean, why tune your table? Why play on a table that's semi-bouncy, or not even semi-bouncy, that's hard top, just solid hard top? And when you go to the casino, your local casino. Because I know if you're in Vegas, you're going to play on a myriad surface. Got it, fellas. Don't shoot me on this. I'm just saying, those of us that go to the same casino over and over and over, because I can tell you, when this COVID thing is over with, I'm going to be heading to Shreveport to my normal favorite 2 casino, which is Samstown and El Dorado. Maybe I might make it over to Margarita and Horseshoe and a couple of the others over in Boomstown, but the 2 that I normally stay at, because I stay there because I get comps, I get free rooms, free food, give me some change, all that stuff. So what if I could figure out the frequencies of those tables, the specific frequencies, so that I could fine tune my table here at home, so that when I get there, it's like, hell, I've been practicing on their table for the last 2-3 weeks before I get there, so that when I pick the dice up and go in there to throw, it's not like I'm throwing for the first time on this table that I haven't seen in the last, well, I haven't been there in a year now, but when I start going more frequent, it'll probably be the last 4 weeks or so. I go down there about once a month. So, but what I'm saying is to fine tune, have my table fine tuned to that frequency. I don't want it to be where my table, I'm throwing a hard top table and their table's bouncy. How do I figure out a bouncy table? What the frequency of that table? By getting the sound. All we want to do is record the sound using our iPhone. Once we get back home, we can run it through the Spectrum Analyzer, and that's going to be in the next video that I'm going to post right after this. That's going to show you how I plan to go about this. And again, this is just a theory, okay? This is a theory. I again, I believe you can fine tune your table to the same frequency of the casino that you're playing at, and that'll give you just that slight edge, okay? Again, what really gives you more of an edge, if anything, is, of course, we know your grip, your throwing mechanics, your release, okay? Hitting your target landing zone, you know, your follow through. I mean, there's a myriad of things that you have to keep track of, not just, you know, throwing. And these are things that you can do on any playing surface, okay? But the one thing that you don't know is the casino table bounce, the underlayment, what they have. You don't know if they have paper, you don't know if they have foam, you don't know if they have slate, you don't know if they have wood, you don't know if they have 4 layers of felt, you don't know what they have, okay? So you just kind of, when you go there, your first couple of throws, you're trying to get dialed in. So I'm saying that if you could figure all that out before you get there, that might just give you that slight little edge, okay? This is kind of putting it all together because, hell, we've been practicing, you know, getting our grip down. We've been practicing our release. We've been practicing, you know, our landing. We've been practicing it all, okay? Everything. We got sound strategy in place and all that. But it still comes down to when the dice literally hit the table. Okay, you got alligators on your table. You got your pyramids, okay? We got that. The one thing that you don't have is you don't know how the dice are going to react. And my theory is you're going to know how the dice are going to react by tuning your table or fine-tuning your table. And, you know, fine-tuning. The easy part is getting the actual recorded sound, okay? And running it through the spectrum analyzer. That's the easy part. The hard part is now taking the layers off your table, okay, and then throwing to see if where you're at in that frequency range, okay, the frequency response range, okay. Is it 200 hertz? Is it 500 hertz? Is it 1200 hertz? Okay. So that's how you would, again, my theory is by fine-tuning your table, it would give you that little slight edge that we look for, okay? That last frontier, the final frontier, okay? There you go, the final frontier in cracking the casino underlayment code, because we don't know what they have under that table. Okay, we just release the dice, and once the dice are out of your hand, that's it. You hope for the best. But what if you, again, could just, you know, reel it in a little, dial it into where, you know, what we like to say is, okay, after you throw on that table a couple of times, you're going to get dialed in. I got that, you know. However, wouldn't it be nice if from about a week before you get there, that you would be able to take and throw on that table over and over and over and practice, so when you walk in there, you already know where your landing zone is at. You already know how the dice is going to bounce pretty much, you know. So, and I get it, okay, not everybody has a throwing rig that's going to go and rip it apart, you know, and put different layers on it. But I would just propose maybe taking a nice piece of birch, okay, matter of fact, you know, you go to your local hardware store, you get a nice piece of birch that fits onto into your table, okay, and then you layer it accordingly. You know, whether you're going to use vinyl, okay, not sure if you can see that, a layer of felt. Maybe you might not go with the vinyl, forget the vinyl. Maybe we might go with 1 layer felt, 2 layer felt, or maybe 3 layer felt. You know, but each time you do it, you would take the dice up, throw them, and look at the spectrum analyzer using the peak hole, and there's a bunch of different spectrum analyzer apps. At the end of this video, And on the second video, I'm gonna post the spectrum analyzer app that I use. I got the pro version of it, which costs like $6 or whatever, so that I can use the peak hole and all these stuff. Cause as you throw your dice and they land, you want to see the highest frequency response that you got, and that's what you're gonna shoot for on your table. Okay, if the average after throwing 5 times, you end up with a frequency response, let's say between 250 and 500, you know, I say, you know, you come up with an average. Your average might be 396 or whatever. Maybe that's what you want to tune your table to. Okay, that's the frequency of the table. Okay, that you recorded at the casino. Once you came back with that sound and you ran those 5 throws back, and you just, again, it's simple. You put a speaker in front of your spectrum analyzer and just listen to those toss. Don't forget all the background noise. Just listen to the toss hitting the table, the dice hitting the table, bloop. And each time you're gonna see the spectrum analyzer pop up and give you the frequency of that toss that you just that was made on that table at the casino. Okay, that will then give you the frequency of that table. Let's say 500 hertz. Okay, and now you can take and tune your table to 500 hertz instead of having it at 1,000 hertz, which is going to give you a totally different bounce. Versus, so when you get to the casino and you start throwing, you know, like, man, I can't get nothing going, I can't get nothing going, you know. So again, these are all again, this is just a theory. So like I said, just go with it, give me some feedback on it. And incidentally, I took the liberty and enlisted a couple of my friends as a part of my little experiment here in this theory, to see just how well it works. And I just took the speaker and had just went through a couple of you guys throwing, and I'm gonna tell you, it was interesting. Okay, so let's see. And the funny thing was, actually, take it a step further. Lucas, what up, Lucas? Big shout out to Lucas over there at Low Rollers Crap. Just got back from Vegas, and I was watching his. Oh, Mom, I get Mom a call later. Hope it don't cut out. Let me.